Hello and welcome back to Steve's Backyard Bonsai. You're looking at where I've taken this Penjing to off camera. I put this together in front of you, I cut these things out in front of you, and then I placed it in the pot simply because I just got started on it and I forgot to even think about setting up the camera. So I just continued all day. This has taken quite a long time. I put it down with JB Weld. I used the quick set on this side and the regular JB Weld in the middle because there was a gap I needed to fill, and I wanted to make sure that these held it down where it needed to be and that this one just floated in the gap and got coverage, and it did. So this is now, the grates are glued in place, and it's I waterproofed the underside twice. I only put one coat on here, and I waterproofed it all around except for this lip because I want to have a good surface to glue the curbs on. So here is where, I might as well turn the camera around and have you looking at it from this direction. All right, so I'm trying to maintain like a flat black and rusted appearance to this, and I may put some reddish orange in there to look like rust, because these storm drains are generally cast iron and they rust. Here is the curb cut that I've put in, and here is one of the storm drains fully cut out. I did leave these long on the side in case I had to adjust, and indeed I do. You can see that the storm drain is about a 32nd of an inch higher, so I have to file those down until they fit. But the kingpin on all of this is this, because it has to be located at a certain place in the run, and that is right here. So I filed this down so that a car turning off the road would not hit a major bump, but it does rise up in this direction, which is good because I want to get a little bit of slope to the driveway. And the next thing I'm going to do after all of this is in place, and this is what I'm going to work on today, the next step will be the sidewalk. And what I've decided to do with the sidewalk is mount each of those squares in a line to some heavy duty, maybe even doubled up window screen. The heavier window screen that you get if you have dogs that jump on the window. That would provide a good base, and then I could even slit the window screen in between if I want to try and get the trees to raise up a square like you would see in nature. In bonsai, you strive to have it fit in the pot, and if it rises up out of the pot, well, when you repot, you kind of take away some of the roots so it sits down lower. In real life, the trees rise up, they go over the road, they impact the curbs, and I'd like to see that happen here over time. So repotting becomes difficult in a situation like this, and I don't even want to discuss it because it's going to come up sooner or later. Now, also, I did realize that when I put one of these pieces next to this piece, there's also a height differential here that's pretty significant. So I have a piece of wood that I can glue down first, which will make them align. I don't really care about alignment front to back because you often see that on the street. I see it every day when I walk Luca. But I am going to be putting a small piece of rubber, black rubber, in between each piece, and I'll cut it to size because that's what you see. And to scale, this looks pretty good. So there will be a black piece in between each. It's like an expansion joint in concrete, but it'll achieve the look I'm going for. All right, let me get started. I'll put this in place and we'll go from there. I'm using clear flex glue for this, and it doesn't dry as fast as I'd like it to. So what that means is I'm going to have to, since this has to be here, right here, I have to let this dry before I start pushing up another piece to it, because I don't want it to move. That doesn't mean I can't continue working. I just can't glue everything down permanently. So I'll be cutting this, this piece is a whole piece going next to it. I'll be cutting this piece to fit here, and then of course cutting the ends to fit where they go. I gotta cut all of these, leaving myself room to put these in, and I frankly haven't figured out how I'm going to do that yet. That's a little vexing. They still have to be fitted, and I'll work on that. So let me glue this in place. I'm going to first have to glue down this piece of wood. So I'm going to put a bead basically where I think, let me see how far that is. I don't want to guess and get it wrong. I want this to be underneath the whole way. So I'll make those marks, and I won't put glue beyond that. And since this doesn't dry so fast, squeeze out doesn't bother me, because I'm going to be putting the other piece down on top of it. The curb cut piece. I would like to keep this off my fingers, so I think I have something here that'll help me do that. Getting excellent squeeze out. All right. So let me put a bead low down on the inside, because it's going to squeeze out up, and I don't want it to go too far. And I think I want to put the glue, now I'll put it on here. All right, I've got to get prepared to clean this up, because it's going to be messy. It's good that the glue doesn't run. And I'm going to get it lined up and then push down and all around. I want there to be a fillet on the inside, and I really don't care if the Flex Seal coats the inside of the curb. I'm praying that didn't move. Now the wood's going to rot over time maybe, but it's got glue all around it. I'm not going to mess with this anymore. Next thing I have to do is fit the other pieces. And I'll have to do that without disturbing this piece. Got a little bit on the top there. I think I can rub that away later. I hope. It'll wear away. It's going to be outside forever. All right, now I got to set up my tile saw again. That's going to be fun. All right, I got this side roughed out. The storm drain will fit there tightly when all is said and done. This will have to be shimmed up on one side to match the height of the other one. And that'll be fine. Got a nice tight fit there. I'm just going to do the other side. And then I'm going to move on to the sidewalk. I won't be gluing these down until tomorrow. I know I said that might be my last day the other day, but I don't know. I just keep working on it. All right, here I go. Okay, I keep going on this. This seems steady enough in here to push against. So I'm going to glue down the adjacent pieces of curb. This one needs a shim. I have two little pieces of copper, which I'll put there, and put my spacer inside, of course. And that lines up nicely. Everything lines up nicely. And I don't know if these line up with this, but we'll figure that out. It should look great. And I'm going to start by gluing down this piece right here. The piece of rubber will get trapped. But I don't mind it being loose at first. It's very messy glue, but I hope it lives up to the hype. And I've got what I need to clean up. I'll trim off whatever excess is in this rubber after it all sets. I'm going to try to lock that all in there. Even lock the rubber in on the back end. And I'm coating the back end to act as further waterproofing for this whole assembly. I'm sure whatever it does is great. And I can press against this and get as tight a fit as possible. All right, that's going to set. Might as well do this piece because it's not dependent on anything. I marked it number 1 and the arrows go to the road, so I know it goes this way. And I'm going to line it up from the top. I want it to fill a bit of a gap. I took a while fitting these. And this doesn't even need a piece of rubber. You know what? I didn't put any glue. Do I want to? I didn't put any glue on the front part of this, right here. And I think I want to. Not so much for waterproofing, to hold it in place. I'm going to aim to clean up the dried glue with a razor. Okay, so I've got 3 pieces in. What do you know? Number 4, arrows go to the road. Okay, number 4, arrows to the road. I have the rubber in place. I've got a mosquito on me. Did I get him? Ugh. I hate mosquitoes. I hope I'm pleased and surprised with the performance of this glue. I really do. Because I've been pretty well pleased with the performance of Flex Seal. Number 5, arrows to the road. All right, this one I need to put down 2 shims. So I've got to stick them first. Let's glue this one up. All right, messy glue. Number 5, toward the road. That's good. Just like that. And I only have one more piece to put in. And then I'm going to call it quits for the night. Maybe? No. I'll work on the sidewalk. That's going to be a separate piece. Okay, I don't need the rubber anymore. Just need to fit this last piece. It looks like it fits nicely. Okay. Now, won't forget to put glue on this side. Get some glue in the lower part of this. Get some glue in the upper part of this. And some glue down below. That's going to squeeze out. Okay, here we go. All right, let me coat the backs of these. And I'll sand off the top of this. That'll work real well. I'll wet sand it after it's all dried on. All right, that'll dry overnight. I'll put it aside and get working on the sidewalk. I almost forgot to video this. So I laid the sidewalk out, I turned it upside down, and now I'm gluing a piece of screen to the back of it, and to this I will flatten out those beads with this little blue tile finisher or whatever you call it. And I'm trying not to move any of these. So and I may glue another piece of screen to the top of this for strength. This obviously has to wait overnight as well. Although the glue is exposed and it's right on the surface. And I can take a last look at the alignment of these as well and move them around a bit. I've got a straight edge in the form of a old-fashioned yardstick to help with the alignment. Got one outlier here. It's a little wider. I could have filed it down, but I didn't. Should I glue another piece on top of this? Something tells me I should. So that's what I'll do. Here are the sidewalk pieces glued to 2 layers of screen. That's going to be giving me the confidence I need that there is good adhesion. I'm going to put the pot right next to it, and there it will sit overnight. All right, that's a good day's work, I would say. All right, thanks for keeping me company in my backyard, and thank you for sticking with me on this.